path. You're doing great. To the right. Yep. Keep going. Follow the path. Oh my God. That was scary as fuck. That was scary as shit. He's such a silly looking thing though. I mean, that's pretty comical. He's just a bunch of lines.
I'm whistling, so
he sounds hella scary though.
This is a super game.
You like it, huh?
Yeah.
Guillaume, listen to me, bro.
I think we may die here, Fu.
Or maybe I just run in circles.
You did. I saw you run in the same spot twice.
Fuck. Doing great, buddy. We're almost there.
I'm whistling.
Fuck, I'm tired.
All right, walk.
Hey, you and me
for
both.
a second. Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I can see the elevator.
Yep.
All right, go to it.
Oh, the entity.
Okay.
He's there. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. Hurry, hurry, hurry. He's in. Yep.
Ah!
Ooh, let's go.
Hit the thing.
Hit the button. Hit the button.
I did.
I ain't touching that button.
Fool's like, fuck that.
I did.
We testing the game. Oh yeah.
Do your dance, Fu. Do your dance.
I don't think so.
See.
This is where the elevator drops.
No, that would be weird.
Rest in peace.
I'm in the chat, and please, you're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard. You've been holding back on me.
I'm going up like Hakeem.
Funko Pop, shout out. Come on. That's unfiltered. The truth about oysters. Give it to him. So I did that. Yup, I did. R&B, baby. He delivers.
Get your popcorn ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Let's go. No BS, OBS, camera zoomed in, and the chat is lit. Stay tuned in, like Zach Morris. I got the attention, like the cool kids. I do this, homie. I thought you knew this. If you didn't, now you do. Had to prove it. Thanks for watching. What's everybody's favorite topic? Leave a comment in the chat. Refrain from gossip. Stop it. If you hating, there's no debating, promise. I'm going up like Hakeem. I can't wait to block you. Nah, dog, cause this a party. Get your popcorn ready, we about to get it started. I'm super grateful, thank you all for being with me. How we looking, am I good?
Sitting pretty.
I'm elated that y'all would take time to kick it with me. Cause I ain't famous, so I'm grateful for the subs you gifted. Shout out to Shadow, I know my guy is always listening, and I appreciate the bits. Fire emoji pimpin'. Let's get it, I'ma give you what you came to see. Please hit the follow button for me and we can proceed. R&B Child's High, class of 03. Shout out to everybody back home and all of y'all that's in the stream.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
We testing the game.
Oh
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back and thanks for showing up. Shit. Let's go on ahead and kick this thing off right. We've got some diamonds in the chat, and I'll tell you exactly what that means.
Got a Superman Benz that I scored from Shaq with an old school caddy with the diamonds in the chat.
Oh yeah, diamonds in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Those little diamonds next to a few of the names in the chat, those are our VIPs. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Your support means everything. Everything. I'm sorry to have left y'all hanging for a couple of weeks. I know, but we're back. We're back. And there's good reason for it. Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally summer in northern Norway. Yeah.
Testing the game.
That's why you get that beautiful landscape behind us there. And as a matter of fact, as proof is in the pudding. Check this out. I've got a photo. This was taken only earlier this morning from my living room window. This is me. Chill. There it is. Beautiful day. It's a beautiful day in Norway, as a matter of fact. And don't think I forgot. I'm still an American at heart. Ladies and gentlemen, happy belated 4th of July. ladies and gentlemen, the iconic Whitney Houston. The best to ever do it, I think. In my personal opinion, that is the best rendition of the national anthem. For real, for real. That was recorded live at the 1991 Super Bowl. We've got a cool show lined up for you all. I'm not going to spoil you with the intro. I'm just going to keep things rolling. I mentioned that it's a beautiful summer day here in Toronto. In fact, for the last couple of weeks, it's been really, really pretty. So much so that your boy's been playing a little bit of tennis. Huh? I've been out there playing a little tennis. Check this out. Here's old tennis riot guy. Huh? That's me. But I haven't been playing alone. No. Shout out to the homies. I want to say shout out to the homie Big G one time. There he is. But the king of the tennis is our very own FedMed, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! He's that dude. So shout out to the homies. Thank you all so much for letting me join y'all.
Thank you.
And not taking it easy on me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get better. But we've been having a lot of fun with that, and so there you go. Shout out to the chat one time. I'll acknowledge we're lit. It's lit. And we got Big Chapo in there. Chucha says, so pretty in Norway. Yes, it is. She also says, just in time for Wimbledon. As a matter of fact, how about that? What's her name, ladies and gentlemen?
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
There were a couple of other names in the chat at the start of the show, and when I see them again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hit y'all's buttons. Bang. So come on back. Let me know you're still there. At the top of the show, you might have noticed a pretty cute cold open. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll explain. Let's go on ahead and throw up the graphics. We are literally testing the game.
Testing the game.
Oh, yeah. There he is. What's his name?
I wanna know who Rusty. I want him to show me.
That's right. Shout out to you, Dad. Appreciate you being here, man. And shout out to Shadow1311. We gonna dox you, buddy. Gotta do it.
Federico, Fede.
Chip. So, ladies and gentlemen, Shadow1311 introduced myself and Big G and our guy Fu to a brand new game, Backrooms, Escape Together. But before we do that, shout out to her. I see you, darling. Everybody's like, let me get my shine. Let me get my shine. Go on and get it then. Come on.
Well, she sneaks around the world from here to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a
Wait for it.
to China. Tell me
Where in the
world is
Cartman, San Diego.
chill? Give it on up. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Again, this show wouldn't be anything without y'all, so I certainly appreciate the support for sure. All right, back to Backrooms, Escape Together. So this is a new kind of horror suspense game that Shadow introduced us to, and we had a lot of fun doing it, as a matter of fact. Shout out to him, he's the real MVP, he got us out of there. But check it out, you can watch those VODs available on YouTube. Literally.
We testing the game.
Now remember,
Oh, yeah.
one of the reasons why we started gaming was because we thought we might be able to garner a little bit more viewership, maybe a little more love, you know what I'm saying? And sure enough, ladies and gentlemen, not only do we have new followers, all right, but we've also got, I think, 1 or 2 new subscriptions, as a matter of fact. So I can't say it enough.
Thank you. Far too kind.
And true to form, we are getting better and better and better.
You just keep getting better and better.
For sure. So a couple weeks ago, we were on the road to 75. Well, we knocked that out the park. And you can see we're pushing on 80's door, ladies and gentlemen. Soon we're going to be at 100. And when we do that, you can rest assured we're going to do something very, very special. So stay tuned. But again, I appreciate all the love, all the support. Cheer. If you're interested, you can check out those VODs, those replays on the YouTube channel. They're a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing it. Thank you to the homies. Shadow says, a trip to Norway? I guess that one never gets old, does it, buddy? Hey, you play your cards right, you might be coming out here sooner than you think, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Federico, Fede.
All right, that was Backrooms Escape Together. Lego. Now y'all know the... Oh.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And a couple weeks ago, last time we were together, sadly, those sound alerts didn't work at all. As it turns out, however, not my fault. Not my fault. Apparently there was like a global outage throughout the internet, and there were so many sites that went down, and our sound alerts were one of them. So what are you gonna do?
You are one pathetic loser.
Well done, Shadow. Those things are working. And Chucha, she snagged up that first in chat redemption. She beat you to it today, Shadow. Shout out to her. And she says right on cue, you're gonna need a bigger apartment. I'm not sure as to why that is. Maybe because we've got so many people coming. Pause. Huh? Coming to Norway. We're doing all right. All right, the next segment, ladies and gentlemen, there it is, bang. It's gonna be short and sweet, but it's one that we haven't had the opportunity to air in the last so many episodes, but he has blessed us with one this week. You might know what's coming up. Sadly, he hasn't made his presence known in the chat. I'm guessing he might not be available. I think he's actually traveling, if I'm not mistaken. Again, it was a national holiday yesterday. Just because I can, we won't get the opportunity. Oh, like Whitney Houston, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, we honor him. Nevertheless, bear with me. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, let me turn down the lo-fi. Y'all know what it is. It's one of my most favorite segments. Anthony's part of the show. Short and sweet. Check it out.
I'm Anthony, he's Anthony, it's Anthony's part of the show.
Come on, come on. How beautiful was that? Ladies and gentlemen, that was St. Pete Beach, Florida. And so now you know where the boy is at. He's out there on the beach with his lovely wife, so AeroRising and Miss VeroRising. Absolutely. We love them. Chucha says, nicely done. Absolutely. And if you're looking for drone work, obviously, AeroRising, check him out. Drone services, baby, yeah! You can check out the link in the notes or the description of these videos one time. So, Ant, thank you so much, even though you can't be here with us. I know, we appreciate you, Brody, and again,
Thank you.
great job with that video, bro. All right. Now, one could argue this next segment is rightfully his. I mean, he's the king, he's the champ. So if he's not here today, then y'all have a good shot at that. Bang, pun intended. See what I did there? Shot, you get it. So without further ado, we're gonna tune it up for the movie preview game. But before we do that, let me go on ahead and take y'all to the lobby as we do.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Yeah, let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I wish y'all could see me during that little segment. My little shoulders are just, you know what I'm saying? Let's all go to the lobby. It's a cute little intro video. That's how we do. Chucha says, I figured out why I never win the movie preview game. I always go to the lobby and I miss those. What's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's true, darling, but nevertheless, you've got a great shot today. Bang! All right, before we tell y'all what's about to happen, we've got a few rites of passage that we've got to acknowledge and do. So, ladies and gentlemen, this segment is called the Movie Preview Game. And this is how it works. In just a moment, I'm going to throw up a colored gradient on screen. And when you see that on this show, it means that R&B is going to play you a video of sorts. This is the movie preview game, so you're going to get a movie trailer. You get it? You get it? And it's a contest. All you have to do is be the first one to tell us the correct name of the film title in the chat, and you win. Well, tell them what you win, right?
Testing the game. Oh, yeah.
Well, first things first, you're playing for pride. This is the one of one movie preview game belt, baby. Huh? That thing is dope. I want one of those in real life. Just wear it out. And when you're the champion, naturally, you get some acknowledgement. So, ladies and gentlemen, the current champion going for a record-setting 22-time victory. AeroRising.
The content personality. I know your anger. I know your dreams.
And again, no longer monetized because of that little sample, but what are you gonna do? We try to make it fun. So there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the reigning movie preview game champion, AeroRising. But we want to give love to all our former champions, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would, acknowledge the movie preview game leaderboard. A couple of recognizable names on that list. Shout out to all of y'all. One more again, definitely. And you can see there's a lot of positions still available. So we want to go ahead and fill those slots. No pun intended. All right. So congratulations to our former champions, and best of luck to all of today's contestants. You're not just playing for pride, however. If you win the movie preview game 3 times on this show, R&B is gonna take you to the movies. Not physically, maybe not physically. I'm gonna buy you some movie tickets one more time for that, okay? So if you win 3 times, not even in consecutive win streak fashion or order, you're gonna go to the movies and you're gonna tell us all about your experience.
You like
okay?
popcorn. It makes your teeth go
pop, 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 pop. All right, so R&B, you've milked this thing long enough in the hopes that more people join the chat. Let's go on and do this, man. Throw up that movie preview game gradient. Do it for him one time. Bang, there it is. That is the framework I told you all about a moment ago. So again, everybody get your popcorn ready. I'm about to do this thing for y'all today, okay? Literally.
We testing the game. Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm turning down the lo-fi music so that you all can appreciate this movie trailer. It's a good one. The only hint that you ever get on this show really is that I typically play a movie trailer that I think looks pretty good, okay? That's all you get from me. All you have to do is be the first one to tell us the name of the film in the chat when I start the movie, and you gotta spell it right. And if it was a sequel or something like that, it has to be the full title, okay? I'm the judge, that's the game. Go on and do it for him, Rye. Play that thing. Best of luck to today's contestants. Go on and get it.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. I just woke up from a coma. I'm several light years from my apartment. And I'm not an astronaut.
No guesses just yet.
I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us. The sun is dying. You are the only scientist who might know what this says.
I'm just a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
We have a doctorate in molecular biology. I need you to come with us. This is Project Hail Mary. The sun is not the only star dying. Every star was infected by its neighbor, except one.
Why?
We don't know. Which is why we built a ship
Hey,
to go there.
good guess,
and
Dad.
find out.
I ain't mad at that. But no, that's not it.
Astronauts die in space.
Hail Mary, you're close, Shadow. You're close.
Long shot.
But close ain't gonna do it.
I get it. Who on earth is gonna sign up for this?
If we do nothing,
Come on, try again. You're
everything on this planet
about
will
this
go
close.
extinct.
You'll find a solution.
You are my solution.
There it is. Let's go, Carmen.
I've never done anything. I've never done a space. I can't even moonwalk.
Well done. Can't even moonwalk. Hail John. Good try, Mom. Good try. Carmen beat you to it. Like that record.
I understand the stakes.
Such a
I
cutie,
do.
huh? And Ryan, guys.
My place is in the classroom.
I like that
The
sweater,
world is
too.
counting on you.
I'd have to give you one of those.
This might be very hard for you to understand.
It's a
But some
long
people
trailer.
are not good at
Goddamn.
things.
Good news is it doesn't come out till
No, you are.
2026, so you'll forget all about it.
Guarantee it 5 hours.
The extended cut.
Object approaching.
Oh my god. So, I met an alien. He's kind of growing on me. At least he's not growing in me, you know, which was a concern for a little while.
I think it looks good. I'm excited for it. There it is.
I'm great.
Well done,
I'm
Carmen.
gonna call you Rocky. Thumbs up. No, that's thumbs down. We do the thumbs up. It's close enough.
Exactly. One more time. Ladies and gentlemen, your new movie preview game champion.
Well, she sneaks around the world from here to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. Take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell
She
me
said-
where in the world is
Carmen San Diego.
steal their soul inside.
Come on, come on! Well done, Carmen. We're gonna fix that leaderboard so that you have 2, not 1, but 2 under your name. And then 1 more, and you're going to the movie.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
Shit like that. Congratulations to her and everyone. Thank you all for playing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Far too kind.
All right, hang in there. Let me find my buttons here. You're pushing my buttons, Roger. All right, the film was titled Project Hail Mary. This is the poster. Let's talk about it. So it used to be I would just play the trailer and we move on with our lives. But now, this is testing the game, baby. I gotta give you some insights. And remember, this one doesn't come out until next year. So you'll remember this and then forget all about it. Here we go. It is directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. It stars Ryan Gosling, Liz Kingsman, and Lionel Boyce. Lionel Boyce. The plot, as you saw in that very extensive trailer, is that astronaut, and I love this name, particularly for he and I. So our names are Ryan, okay, obviously. But the character's name is Ryland. Ryland. Interesting. Okay, so it's an R name. Shout out to us. Astronaut Ryland Grace wakes up on a space station with no recollection of who he is or what mission he's on. As his memory slowly returns, he soon learns that he was set to a specific solar system to reverse the impact of a space event that has already hurled Earth into the early stages of an ice age. As details of the mission unravel, he must call on his scientific training and sheer ingenuity, but he may not have to do it alone, as you saw in that trailer. Okay? Aliens. Oh. There we go. So, shout out to you one more again, Carmen. You are today's champ. And that was fun. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the movie preview game. How about a little love in the chat? Put your popcorns up one time, huh? Come on, show me some love. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, is probably the powerhouse of this show, if I could say it that way. It will be a mega movie series review. That's what we do.
We're testing the game.
I tell you about the recent titles, the films, the shows, the specials that I've seen lately. And we've got a lovely intro for this, courtesy of our guy, AeroRising. Again, even when he's not here, he's still with us in spirit. Enjoy this, and we'll be right back.
It's only a movie.
Just look over your shoulders, honey.
Yeah!
Good morning, Vietnam!
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I don't even own a gun, let alone many guns that would necessitate an entire rack.
Snakes? Snakes. I don't own no snakes.
Well, I got a number. How do you like them apples?
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Hey, you guys!
Enjoy your remaining years.
I will. Enjoy fucking jewels.
I will.
That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Alrighty then.
Get your popcorn ready. Get your popcorn ready. Speaking of, I asked before, but maybe I didn't make myself as clear as I should have. If you would, please show your love by throwing up some popcorn emotes in the chat. You've got a few to choose from. In fact, you have an animated little bear who is about as adorable as it gets. You've got a couple of buckets of popcorn, right? One more again, makes your teeth go.
You like popcorn. Makes your teeth go. Pop, 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 pop.
Huh? I just got word, ladies and gentlemen, from our guy, AeroRising. Sadly, he can't make it today, but that's okay. One more again for him. He did give us Anthony's part of the show. If you missed it,
I'm Anthony, he's Anthony, it's Anthony's part of the show.
beautiful St. Pete Beach, FLA for the 4th of July. So we appreciate you, man. Don't worry about it. You'll be back next week or so to defend your crown, I'm sure. I'm sure of it. All right, so this is the movie series review, and when we have 5 or more titles, we call it a mega series review.
Testing the game.
All right, today's show has a wonderful pace, and in the interest of that and your time, let's go on ahead and just run these titles, shall we? So coming up first, I like to start low and end high. What I mean by that is I tell you the ones that I didn't love so much. Maybe I didn't love them at all. Maybe I didn't. And then we end with your pick of the week. All right, so coming up first, this one was mentioned in a couple of episodes. I think we had higher hopes for it. I'll tell you about it when I show you the poster, but let me save you the trouble. I don't think anybody should see this. It's called Friendship. All right, so I know that AeroRising had commented previously, at least he thought he would like to see it, and for what it's worth, both Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd are hilarious, all right? But I say that independently of this film, because this, not so much. So it was directed and written by Andrew DeYoung. It stars, as you see in the poster, Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd, and also Kate Mara. Or Mara, I'm not sure. The plot, here we go. It is a socially stunned marketing executive becomes obsessed with his charismatic neighbor, played by Paul Rudd, sparking uneasy bromance a la Fatal Attraction for dudes. Can you dig that? What seems like a camaraderie spirals darkly out of control, testing marriage, sanity, and social boundaries. It premiered, as I understand it, at TIFF's Midnight Madness and was praised for its cringe comedy and commentary on modern masculinity. And I think cringe is an appropriate word. There are a few times you're just watching this movie and you're like, what? Like, what is going on? It's outrageous. If you know Tim Robinson, he has a couple of sketch comedy shows and that he's been in, and they're pretty funny. They're on Netflix, I believe. But I didn't love this one. Listen, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we have 7 titles this week. It starts at the very bottom, and for good reason. I just didn't love it. And I'm guessing because of the lack of energy in the chat that most of y'all are not familiar. You probably haven't seen it. If you haven't, I wouldn't recommend it unless you just really want to. Paul Rudd is dope, man. I love Paul Rudd. And Tim Robinson, again, he has a very unique comedic style. And if you're into that, you might like this one. But I thought I did. And again, I didn't love it. Sorry. Chucha says, okay, I'm skipping Friendship. That's right.
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
Moving right along. This next one, I went in open-minded, as I do. Sometimes you're just scrolling, you're searching, you're looking, and sometimes you don't even want a good movie. Does that make sense? You don't necessarily want a good film or a good series because you're half asleep. You just think to yourself, I'll just put something on, and if it catches my attention, great. I had an experience recently where I started a movie, I was exhausted, and I was really excited to watch it, but it was so boring, I just turned the shit off and went right to sleep. And that's why it's not on today's show list, okay? So even when I watch a film, you don't always get the reviews, because if I don't finish it, you don't get it, okay? That's how this goes. But this next one, better than anticipated. It's cute, it's funny, it's not great, mind you, but this is what it is. It's called Deep Cover. Bang! It's on Amazon Prime. Shout out to Amazon Prime. They paying us, you know what I'm saying? Twitch, you dig that? That's right. Directed by Tom Kingsley, written by Colin Trevorrow, Derek Connolly, Ben Ashton, and Alexander Owen. Shout out. I think I pronounced his name wrong. Ben Ashenden. Ashenden. There you go. It stars Bryce Dallas Howard, who I like very much. I do. Orlando Bloom. Shout out to him. You might know him better as Legolas. I wish I had a soundbite for that, but I don't. So shout out to you, Rico. I know you're a fan. Also, Nick Muhammad. And if you know the show, of course, now I can't. Ted Lasso. Thank you so much. You'll recognize him. Also, Sean Bean, Ian McShane, Patty Considine. And look out for him later on. He'll be back. And Sonoya Mizuno. Forgive any mispronunciations. This is the plot. You ready? A down-on-her-luck improv coach, of all things, and her 2 students are recruited by London police to infiltrate a crime gang. Because, of course, where improv skills become literal life skills. The comedic trip meets crime caper. It's cute. It's funny. I liked it. I really did. I liked it. I liked it because I went in thinking it's gonna be bad. And look, it's not great, but that's not what you're wanting out of this film. It's better than expected. Dang. In fact, critics laud its fast-paced wit, strong performances, especially Howard and Bloom. It's clever. It's a clever blend of comedy and crime, and it's already trending as Prime's top UK comedy. How about that? I wanted to say Quabity Ashwitz. If you know, you know. Chucha says, I want great, damn it. Well, stay tuned. You gonna get great, all right? I'm gonna give you great. How about that? But it is cute. And look, again, sometimes you want something that's less than great because you're not in the mood to consume great. Does that make sense? At least it resonates with me. That's what matters. So there you go. But I liked it. Deep cover, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Amazon Prime. All right, now this next one I put a little higher on the list. To be honest, I could have gone either way with this. I could have put this one before the last one because I really enjoyed the slapstick of the last one. It was entertaining enough. It was better than expected. This one, I wanted to be better than it ended up being, but it was still captivating enough that it got the next spot. All right, it's called Mountainhead.
That's what she said.
No, she didn't. Wait for it. That was clever for two reasons. Okay, you got the obvious one, but also because it stars our guy, none other than Steve Carell. Shout out. It also stars Jason Schwartzman, Corey Michael Smith, and Rami Youssef. And I believe that it was created by some of these guys as well. Shout out again to Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, and Corey Michael Smith. Huh? How about it? Here's the plot, all right? And I'll be honest, they fucking lost the plot, all right? They did that. If you've seen it, I'd love your feedback. Again, entertaining, not great. I wanted it to be great, particularly because I just happen to love Steve Carell. But here we go. 4 friends and multi-millionaire tech moguls reunite on a secluded mountain retreat. But buried secrets and old rivalries resurface, threatening to shatter their bond. A character-driven study of friendship, isolation, and rivalries. Good enough, Mountainhead. And the plot is actually much deeper than that. Pause. These moguls have the ability to kind of influence the world, and that's all I can really say about that because they are tech geniuses and their different techs do different things. There's an AI component, and you all know I love that, okay? And then there's social media, so it was right up my alley. It tugged on some specific heartstrings, go figure. Love Steve Carell, but again, not great, not great. Ladies and gentlemen, Russ Barber in the chat. Show him some love. Chip. Well, on the one hand, Dad, I'm glad you haven't seen them because now you have the opportunity to do so. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, everything that I've put up on screen thus far, with the exception of friendship, although you could, you know what I mean? If you wanted to consume it, you could. They're all pretty decent. They're all pretty decent. This one, as you see on the poster, I think is available on HBO Max. So shout out to HBO Max one time. All right. Now these next 2, not 1, but 2, are theatrical films. That's right, your boy been going to the movies. Shout out to me. Anyone following my socials or knows me personally, you could probably well guess what's coming up next, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, a sequel of the ages, okay? Well, not really. It is Jurassic World Rebirth. Shout out to ScarJo one time. All right, I'm gonna give you the plot and all that, and then I'm gonna tell you my 2 cents. I'll give you my 10 cents. My 2 cents is free. You dig that? All right, directed by Gareth Edwards, written by Michael Crichton. Shout out to him. If you know, you know. And David Corp. I never know how to say his name, but there it is. It stars Scarlett Johansson, I'm gonna say this wrong, I'm sure. Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, and Rupert Friend, to name a few. The plot. All right, you ready for the plot? You can probably make up your own plot and it'll fit right in the puzzle, but here we go. 5 years post Jurassic World Dominion, back in 2022, an expedition braves isolated equatorial regions to extract DNA from 3 massive prehistoric creatures for a groundbreaking medical breakthrough. I don't know. I should have grabbed a dinosaur sound effect for you all. I didn't. That's on me. I didn't have the foresight. I'll be honest, I didn't love it. That's why. It wasn't that great. In fact, the people that I saw it with, shout out to the homies Fedme one time, and my guy, ICC. All right? He's been here once or twice. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. But we got love. These are my movie watching buddies here in Norway. We didn't love this, and we all shared the same sentiments. First of all, every Jurassic style movie, right? The concept in my mind is, hey, there's some dinosaurs over there. Don't go over there. And then some other people are like, let's go over there. That's basically the whole shit. Okay? That's the whole shit. Here's my biggest gripe about this particular title. You ready? And I say no spoilers on this show, and this is kind of one, kind of not, so it's delicate. If you don't want to hear this next sentence, go ahead and tune out. It's not a big giveaway. The reason why Jurassic Park and Jurassic World and all that used to be cool is because it was about, quote unquote, real dinosaurs. Okay, I put that in air quotes intentionally. I'm not here to debate nobody about that, but just go with me. Let's all imagine and accept that maybe dinosaurs were real once upon a time. All right, let's just say that. Well, now it's about mutated dinosaurs, not even regular. Like, what's wrong with regular dinosaurs? The dinosaurs are pretty fucking cool, I think. Dinosaurs are cool enough. Now you got to make them bigger and better and mutated. So I believe it's a comment, interestingly, based on how the films have progressed, right? So when Jurassic Park was created and eventually it became a real sustainable park, the patrons got bored of seeing the same dinosaurs. So they had to cleverly, engineer new dinosaurs, and that trend continued. But the reality of it is, I think it's us. It's the viewing audience getting bored with the films. In order to keep us impressed, you got to create bigger, badder, more impressive dinosaurs. And I guess one way to do that is to mutate them, but now they're not even fucking real dinosaurs, so whatever. There are, as you could well guess, there are so many times within this film where it's like literally game over, okay? It's this 100% whole squad. Chucha says, new game, guess the plot. In this case, dino DNA results in modern day dinosaurs. You got it, sweetheart. You got it, it's spot on. Chucha says, I also heard you can get dino DNA in Brazil. If you know, you know. Shout out to you. Bang. If you don't know, Chucha Barber, among many other accolades, shout out to her, she was once a museum director, a renowned museum director, and has produced shows relating to dinosaurs, one of which I happen to star in, and I think we won an Emmy for it? I don't know, I might have. I didn't win the trophy, she did. Shout out to her. It was called Dig Those Dinos. So yeah, Chucha knows all about dinosaurs, and I have had the privilege of meeting real paleontologists, the real life version of some of these people. Ironically, I'm a believer of science and all that, but I'm not convinced that dinosaurs were real. I know, and I didn't really want to get on that soapbox, and I might not still, but I think it's a greater likelihood that they didn't. I don't know. I just don't. It's interesting to me that in every ancient culture of the world, there are depictions, rather dinosaurs, but of dragons. All right, can you dig that? Can you go there with me? Maybe we just got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? All right. Here's something else to consider, and I never liked this, and I'm so happy that that particular dinosaur is on the poster. So I could be wrong, but I'm confident that is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Okay? Y'all know the classic T-Rex. Big old body, big old head, little tiny arms. Now, why would that be? What would those arms be good for? Well, I am of the opinion that the Tyrannosaurus Rex, if it existed, was a bird. Those arms would be wings, and maybe you wouldn't have the remaining skeleton of the wings, but that's what I think. I think it is similar to like a flightless bird, like an ostrich, and that's probably why it's shaped like that. And wouldn't that be fucking terrifying? Okay. Russ says, oh my God, what's wrong with you? What do you mean, what's wrong with me? You don't think you just accept that dinosaurs existed? How about this? Some people believe and theorize that all the bones that you ever see in these national museums and such are nothing more than paper mache. It's not real. Chucha says all dinosaurs are related to birds. Bang, that's right. And so to that point, dinosaurs, as I understand it, should you opt to believe in them, they have hollow bones and are likely more related to a bird than, say, a lizard. So if we can agree that scientists got the genus and species wrong, right? Because I think Tyrannosaurus specifically means like tyrannical lizard or something to that effect. So if they missed the mark by so much, maybe they just missed it entirely. Maybe they're not dinosaurs as we would think of them, but rather dragons or something else. I don't know. We're off the soapbox. As far as movies go, Jurassic World Rebirth, it was entertaining enough. I found myself entertained. The CGI at times was pretty shitty. It just was. I think the story, it's like they didn't even try with the story, okay? I have one more gripe for you and then we'll move on. And again, not a big spoiler or anything like that, but there's a scene in the film where they're working on character development, okay? And ScarJo and her counterpoint, in fact, Mahershala's character, they're having dialogue. These two individuals, these characters in the movie, they're longtime friends and associates. And they're asking one another these personal questions, and some things get revealed, and then those things never get talked about or touched upon again for the duration of the film. And it was like, yo, you could have saved me the 10-15 minutes of the backstory. We're just here for the dinosaurs, all right? There you go, bang. Anyway, I just think they either tried too hard or not hard enough. I don't know. Chucha says, we're going to chat offline, but I'm not watching that movie. All right, what's her name?
Her name is Chucha. She's getting lit up in the chat.
Jurassic World Rebirth, ladies and gentlemen, it was. Bang. Now this next one, and Mom, sadly, I don't think it's for you either, darling. I just don't. It might be. You could check it out. You might like it. But I feel like at face value, you're going to say no thank you. But here we go. As I shared with you all, I had the privilege of seeing a couple of films in theaters. This is one, and I liked it more than Jurassic World. You ready? It is 28 years later. This one is directed by Danny Boyle, who also directed the first two installments of this film. It's a sequel, obviously. Alex Garland, Danny Boyle, and Jack Thorne penned it. It stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, Ralph Fiennes, and Alfie Williams, who did a great job. Young man, he's actually the little guy in the poster at the top. Carmen says, I wanted to see that. Yeah! Here's the plot of this film. You ready? A group of survivors of the rage virus live on a small island. When one of the group leaves the island on a mission into the mainland, he discovers secrets, wonders, and horrors that have mutated not only the affected, but other survivors. At least that's how I interpret it. So 28 years later, if you're familiar with the 28 franchise, it was 28 days later, I think it was 28 weeks, and then they skipped months and they went right to years. And here we go. Now, so if you're not familiar with the franchise at all, it was actually a really cool kind of a zombie movie, if you can think of it that way. But they're not zombies. This is gonna hit really close to home. It was a virus that had an outbreak, and I think the original film was in London, England, in it. And that one stars a young Cillian Murphy, who deserves his flowers. Now, there were some people that thought, based on, I wish I had the photo for you, one of the infected in this movie looks a little like Cillian Murphy, and they thought they brought his character back. I think that has been debunked, so I don't think Cillian Murphy is in this one. I do think, I have it on good authority, that there is another 28 years coming out soon, like within the next year, which is pretty soon for film's sake, but I think it has a different director, and it's just like a different part of the story, and I've heard maybe Cillian Murphy is in that one. So maybe, stay tuned. It might actually be titled The Bone Tower or something similar, which is what you see in this poster. So there you go. Chucha says, is it a horror movie? I think technically it classifies as a horror movie, but as you know, and everyone in this chat knows, R&B don't do horror. I really don't love horror films. It's not my genre. I've seen some. I watch others. I like a good zombie movie. Y'all know I like a good zombie movie. Again, this isn't technically zombies, but I like the 28 franchise. One of the reasons I like it is because at least the first one was shot very like guerrilla style, if you understand what I mean by that. And so a lot of jarring movements, the quality of the film itself is less polished, it's a bit grainy. And I believe, and I should have taken better notes for you, I believe they shot at least some of the scenes that you see in this film with iPhones. And they do that intentionally. Now, it's not just a singular iPhone that they're out there shooting with. It's like an array or an arrangement of iPhones. And it allows them to do some pretty cool things. If you know, and you know, if you know the Matrix trilogy and franchise, you know that they kind of invented or at least made popular something called bullet time. That's when everything slows down and you get to see. So they do, I'm gonna say it for them, they do a version of bullet time. And I think that's what the array of iPhones allowed them to do. But as far as cinematography goes, it was very well done. My friends whom I saw it with, they liked it very much, more than myself. And again, I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I didn't love it, however. I know. And the reason I didn't love it is simply the story. I just think that it was weak. It could have been different. It should have been better, in my opinion. And I just didn't. And I can't say too much because, again, no spoilers. If you're a fan of the series, you gotta watch it, obviously. And if you want to be entertained and try something new. Now, I do think sometimes you have to watch the other films in order to understand. This is one of those times. It could stand on its own because the concept isn't so complex that you wouldn't get it, right? And they don't really go back and touch on any of the other movies, which I think is one of the reasons I didn't love it as much as I could. So in the first one, the break happens. It's 28 days after the outbreak. A guy wakes up from a coma. He's trying to figure it all out. He doesn't know what's going on. He quickly figures it out. And then he runs into some other survivors. Things happen. And then the movie kind of ends. And you're left like, oh, that was an adrenaline rush. Then in the second film, there's the concept of, if not a cure, some individuals are immune. And so you think naturally that they're going to get to the point where they can find the cure, use the people who are immune, but it's intense. And I think the second one has a couple of scenes that are really very well done. It kicks off with a bang. And then it's 28 years later, which is, you know, now the city is kind of deserted, nobody's there, but there are some survivors. Some people, as the movie suggests, have like started their own little village and group, and they're getting along fine, and there's a reason why they're secluded. But I'm just gonna tell you, in case you don't see it, and even if you do, it doesn't kill the movie. You kind of know it if you've seen the trailer. But this little guy, he just ends up going into the mainland where he knows the infected are, and he goes by himself? What? I mean, I just don't see it. I mean, he's brave and all, but I just don't see it. Once you see the film, you let me know what you think. It's entertaining. It's good enough. 28 franchise. I like that. If you like zombies, you gotta watch it. But that's it. Mom, I don't think it's for you, but I encourage you to watch them if you're about that life. Any other comments in the chat? Carmen, I suspect you have seen the first two. And if you have seen the first two, then you're committed and you need to go ahead and watch this one. You know what I'm saying? But not great. Also, Chucha says, I'll pass. I figured as much. another natural progression of these films. Because, again, just like with the Jurassic franchise, right? The dinosaurs have to get bigger and better and meaner and, you know, so too do the infected have to get bigger and better and meaner. You know what I mean? It's a whole thing. I knew that. Carmen happens to love horror genre, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if I have a horror... I got this. Wait for it. This will count. So, yeah, go on and see it, Carmen. Let me know what you think. 28 years later, that's it. Oh. And we're back. Bang. Moving right along. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's called a mega movie series review. Reason being is we have more than 5 titles.
Testing the game.
I've given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. These next 2 are not movies, they are series. As a matter of fact, hence the name of the segment, Movie Series Review, right? They're not all films. Chucha says, the difference between dinosaurs and zombies is the dinosaurs were real. How about this? I think there's a greater likelihood of zombies happening in the future than dinosaurs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case. And again, in the 28 franchise, they're not zombies. They just kind of take on these zombification type things, but they're infected. And I think that has a real possibility in our world as well. But fair point. Let's appreciate all movies that you watch in the theaters, minus documentaries, are works of fiction. You know what I'm saying? You go into it knowing that. Chucha says, we're going to get you professional help. We're arguing about whether or not dinosaurs exist. Show me some real evidence. How about that? And again, this coming from someone who is learned, who had the privilege of meeting paleontologists. And, you know, I've seen the animatronic versions, okay? Thanks to you, sweetheart. But I'm not convinced. And isn't that tragic then? And if you can't convince someone like me, what does that say? All right. Carmen says, we thought the COVID pandemic was going to lead to zombie, but exactly. Thanks. See, that hits home. You know what I mean? It just does. Chucha says, I've got evidence. Well, go on in.
Choo choo, choo choo, choo choo, choo choo.
Well, darling, watch this. I'm coming home at the end of the month. I look forward to being presented with whatever evidence. Matter of fact, if you really wanted to do it, we should do a digital senior moment all about dinosaurs. How about that? That would be hot. Coming up next, however, is another sequel of sorts. It is, and I'm going to do it for you this way. Wait for it. If you know, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, Squid Game. All right, this is the 3rd season of Squid Game. Here are the facts, and forgive any mispronunciation. Created by Hwang Dong-hyuk, and it stars Lee Jung-jae, Wee Ha-jun, Jeon Young-soo, Park Hae-soon, and Im Si-won, to name a few, mostly Korean, I suspect. Here's the plot. If you don't know, shame on you. It's a global phenomenon, Squid Game, and if you haven't seen it, lucky you. You get to watch them in succession like a major movie. It's pretty dope. So, here's the plot of this season. It picks up in the aftermath of Season 2's bloody cliffhanger. Although Ji-hyun is at his lowest point yet, the Squid Game stops for no one. So, Ji-hyun will have to be forced to make some important choices in the face of overwhelming despair as he and the surviving players are thrust into deadlier games and tests everyone's resolve. With each round, their choices lead to increasingly grave consequences. Meanwhile, In Ho resumes his role as frontman. These are the gentlemen in the poster, by the way. To welcome the mysterious VIPs and his brother, Jun-ho, played by Wee Ha-jun, who continues his search for the elusive island, unaware that there's a traitor in the mists. Will Ji-hoon make the right decisions, or will the front man finally break his spirit? Ladies and gentlemen, Squid Game Season 3. Let's go. Chucha says, I have not seen a minute of it. Well, I think you should. Now, watch this. I have said many times that I don't particularly love foreign films. I just don't. I think one of the reasons for that is because I fancy myself a bit of an actor. Acting! I do, and therefore, I lose it a little bit when it's in another language. I can't kind of imagine myself saying the dialogue. I can't relate to the characters as much. However, this series ought to be watched in Korean. It's better that way. Stamp it. I don't even know if there's a translated version or a dubbed version. And he's not here, but he would love me saying this one time for him. Our guy Shadow1311 is a major anime fan. And he would, I think, co-sign and tell us that most, if not all, anime should be watched in the language that they were created in. And I support that. And I have tested the game.
We tested the game.
I think it's a select few, shows and movies that get dubbed or translated where it's, even palatable. So, long way of saying it is in Korean. I don't speak Korean either. Go figure. But there are subtitles, and it's worth watching it that way. So that's my 2 cents on that. But it's great. So if you don't know the concept of Squid Game, first of all, and I know I do this a lot, but put your tinfoil hats on real quick. It's not based on a true story, but when you do the research, I think it's actually based on some element of truth. Bang. I have seen, not gonna surprise you, I've seen TikToks, okay? Some TikToks would have you believe that in Korea, once upon a time, they took the poor and the homeless off the streets and they put them in, I don't know if it was like a concentration camp or the equivalent, and it was like a version of Squid Games in a sense. I don't believe it fully, but it's certainly possible. I don't know Korean history that well, so it is what it is. But this is a work of fiction. Let's accept it for that, okay? But there's usually a grain of truth in every good story. That's how it gets written. But the concept is the people who compete in the Squid Games usually have a great debt for one reason or another. It could be hospital bills. It could be they had gambling problems. Could be anything. And so they kind of get recruited to join the Squid Game, but it's all voluntary. That's the interesting twist to this. And so you kind of volunteer to participate. Now, typically going in, you don't know what to expect, and it's fucking wild. All right, to say the least. Chucha says, oh, so Squid Games is true, but dinosaurs aren't. I said there's an element of truth, and I will agree, there's an element of truth to dinosaurs too, but I don't think it's exactly as they would present it to us, okay? I said it's a greater likelihood that they are dragons. One more time, just because I can.
Alicent is in King's Landing.
Okay, you get that? And they're more likely to be birds than reptiles or lizards. All right, so we'll get off that soapbox. And yeah, something probably happened in some capacity because they're and granted, I don't know what's real and what isn't anymore. AI is ridiculous, okay? I probably got duped. But you see photos, right, old photos of these rooms that are painted in a similar style to the set that is Squid Game. So once you see that, Chucha says, we have a new concentration camp in Florida, Alligator Alcatraz. Bang. I have heard of this, as a matter of fact. And just because I can.
Chapo.
I have seen a couple of TikToks on this, as a matter of fact, too. It's a little troubling. It's a little disheartening, and it kind of relates to what we're talking about here. So I'll leave the poster up for half a second. Some people aren't calling it Alligator Alcatraz, but they're calling it Alligator Auschwitz. Auschwitz, yeah. I don't know if I could co-sign all that. I heard they put some deadly alligators and deadly snakes in the moat surrounding. I also heard it was created in 8 days, and then I heard it was flooded. So I don't know what's going on out there in the Everglades, man, but heavy stuff. I am up on that, so thank you for putting me on the game. All right, back to Squid Game, ladies and gentlemen. That was a hard left. We took a detour. If you haven't seen the series, start it. I think it's worth it. And again, watch it in Korean. Season 3, I enjoyed it very much. Now, again, no spoilers. They certainly left the door open for another Squid Game. And I won't tell you more than that as it relates, but they also tied this one up pretty well, and it was a good finale. I think it was great. So check it out, Squid Game. It's your second to the top pick this week, so that means we only got one more, and it's even better.
You just keep getting better and better.
You know what I'm saying? But sad that no one in the chat has seen season 3. I mean, but that's okay. If you haven't, you should. And if you haven't seen, you got to watch it in concession. You can't just start this season because, again, it picks up where the last one left off. You'll be in over your head. So check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, Squid Game Season 3. I liked it. I binged it. It was dope. Pun intended. Chucha Barber says she is ready for a great movie.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
Well, it's not a movie, it's a series, and I usually say I prefer films, but I loved it because it was much longer than what a film would be.
That's what she said.
Okay. And let me say something. I'm gonna put the reverb on so you know that I mean it. This is the best project that I have seen in a very long time.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We testing the game.
it is your pick of the week. MobLand. Let's go. If you haven't seen it, every single one of y'all in the chat, anyone that might ever be watching this, should definitely watch MobLand. It is available, I think, in the US on Paramount Plus, and at least in Norway, Showtime. Showtime. So there you go. I'm gonna tell you all about it and we'll talk it out. Ladies and gentlemen, directed by one of my most favorite directors, Guy Ritchie. Chip. It stars, as you see in the poster, Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, also Patty Considine and Jeff Bell, to name a few. Come on, heavy hitters. Here's the plot. You ready? Power is up for grabs as two warring crime families clash in a battle that threatens to topple empires. In the crossfire stands Harry D'Souza, a street-smart fixer who knows too well where his loyalties lie, especially when opposing forces collide.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
It's all very cleverly done. Bang, bang, it's a shoot 'em up, MobLand, you get it. I probably can't say enough about this project. I loved it, absolutely. I was sad when I knew I had 3 episodes still, because I wanted it to last and last.
That's what she said.
Okay? Oh, it's so good. So good. Look, Tom Hardy carries, okay? But Pierce Bros does a fucking phenomenal job. And shout out to Helen Mirren. She does an amazing job too. But that, just like you see it in the poster, that is the order that I put these phenomenal actors, okay? They do an amazing job. And it's a wonderful cast, top to bottom. There's a lot of people that you'll probably recognize and not, but it's great. Think of it as like a British Sopranos, okay? Think of it like that. And I don't know if I could say British because they're Irish and all that. But you get it, okay? You get it well enough. It takes place in England, amongst some other places, but the family, Tom Hardy isn't, but I'm confident Pierce and Helen and their children are. I think they're Irish. I think they're a bit Irish in it. Chucha says, Dad watched it without me. Oh, he said Tom Hardy does an exceptional job. He really does. How about this, Mom? If you want, when I come home, we can rewatch this whole shit again. That's how good it was for me. Bang. I would do that with you. I loved it that much. And I bet there's little things that I would pick up on. I think, so again, when I watch films and series, I especially love when the acting and the storytelling is exceptional because I like put myself like, what would I do in these scenes? Now that's, call me what you want, but I think anybody that aspires to anything, you watch the greats to kind of pick up on. If I played basketball, right, I'd probably watch Jordan and LeBron and Kobe and all them, you know what I'm saying? You get it. And now I've lost my buttons, but that's all right. You put your push in my buttons, Roger. Wait for it. We're back. See, just that quick. So, again, the point being, you know greatness when you see it. The directing, the cinematography, the storytelling, the scenes, and certainly the acting. I can't say enough good things about it. I mean, I fucking loved it. It has plot twists. It's got it all, man. Hit the big button one more again for me, if you would. Ladies and gentlemen, this was your pick of the week, MobLand. I strongly encourage it. Dad, what'd you think, man? Tell me.
Bang, bang, bang.
Shit like that.
We'll give Russ a second or so to comment in the chat should he want to. As a matter of fact, we want to know, ladies and gentlemen.
I wanna know who Russ is. I want him to show me.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. He isn't in the chat again today, sadly. But this was highly recommended by our guy, AeroRising. So shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for recommending it.
Thank you. Far too kind.
AeroRising likes to get mad at me offline because he does recommend a lot of stuff and I don't always watch them, okay? It's not intentional. Again, I have to be in the right state of mind. The moon has to be in its waning phase. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe. But when I do, and it's dope, he gets full credit. Shout out to you, AeroRising, baby. Matter of fact, we love you, man. Thanks for the segment. This is for you.
I'm Anthony, he's Anthony. It's Anthony's part of the show.
All right, I guess Russ is out of commission for the moment because Chucha says, hey, Dad loved it. Dad loved it. Well, I'm glad to know it. I certainly did. It is an amazing project. Again, shout out to Guy Ritchie. Shout out to Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, Miss Helen Mirren, everybody. So good. So good. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, testing the game.
We testing the game.
Oh yeah. All right, what a wonderful show we've had. And it started out quick, gave you the cold open, and it's part of the show. It's been good. It's been so good. Coming up next, however, we've got one more segment. It is that time. That's right, The Witcher. Right, go on and toss a coin, if you would.
Coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty.
So, if you're into book readings and all that jazz, hang out. As a matter of fact,
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty.
Wait for it, it's a different one. Hold on. Shout out to you, Chooch. I knew you'd love that. And the sound alerts are working. How about that? All right, so again, I'm gonna change the category to reading and writing. This way, we might get one or two new watchers and listeners. How about that? In fact, I think last episode, we did just that. So shout out to us, baby.
We testing the game. Oh yeah.
So if you're still here, please hang out with us. We lose a lot of viewers during this segment for some reason. I know, I guess people don't love the book reading. I'm gonna catch you up. I'm gonna give you a recap. Hang out, at the very least, appreciate this transition. Let me make sure all my buttons are gone. That way they don't hit us when we come back, because that always happens. You know what I'm saying? All right, check this transition out and hang out for The Witcher reading. Pretty cool? All right, everybody settle in. It's a new vibe. And I love the purple background. I love the color we've got going on. It complements the book cover, but we have a tradition on the show. We're gonna change the lights to a more amber fire to give us a little more vibe. This is how we do it. When the Undertaker makes his way down to the ring, he raises his hands and the lights come on. We're gonna try to time this thing just like the Undertaker would. All right, hard to notice because the live sign, okay? You can laugh at that if you want to. But now in the background, for those just listening, it's like an orange fire, and it moves with the ambiance. So there you go. All right, if anybody hasn't been with us for the last several weeks, you're not really gonna know what's going on, but don't worry about it, I got you. We're about to give you this week's Witcher Recap.
Toss a coin. You mentioned coin. What's there, Witcher Recap?
Your Witcher Recap, ladies and gentlemen. We are on book 2 of the Witcher series. It is titled Time of Contempt. And we are actually, today, it is part 10 of chapter 3, if you can believe that. I would love to read a chapter at a time, but the author of the book just didn't want that. He was like, nope, we're going to make these chapters about as long as we can. And all right, you get it. So, last time we were all together, we joined Geralt and Yennefer amidst a lavish sorcerer's banquet in Aretuza, where tension mingled with flirtation and political intrigue. The gathering was filled with magic, mischief, and veiled threats. Geralt was mocked by sorceresses Marty and Kira, while Yennefer re-entered dramatically to reclaim his attention, ultimately inviting him to spend the night with her in Aretuza. And they did. I don't think I have an appropriate music, but I got... Oh, never mind. You can laugh because I don't have anything. I was going to play something like Let's Get It On. But anyway, they were doing that thing. All right. Their romantic interlude was interrupted by political undercurrents as Yennefer urged Geralt to meet Vilgefortz, a charismatic and cunning mage. Vilgefortz led Geralt through the Gallery of Glory, a grand hallway of magical history where paintings illustrated the foundation of ideology of the Brotherhood of Sorcerers. As Vilgefortz narrated these episodes, he subtly pressed Geralt with philosophical and personal questions about power, submission, and the roles of men and women, hinting at deeper motivations and probing Geralt's views. A deeper unease crept in as Geralt realized Vilgefortz was not simply recounting history, but testing him.
We testing the game.
Both morally and magically. Lydia van Bredefort, that's a tough name to say, one more time. Lydia van Bredefort, Vilgefortz's silent assistant, also featured predominantly in the last reading, revealing a portrait of Laura Doran, an ancient elven sorceress whose eyes eerily resembled Ceres. The section ended with Geralt being guided across an illusion-cloaked, crumbling terrace high above the sea. A narrow path revealed only by magic became a dangerous test of Geralt's balance and nerve. Vilgefortz, calmly watching him struggle, remarked poignantly, "You are afraid of death after all." Ladies and gentlemen, that was the very best, if I might say so myself, Witcher recap that you've ever gotten on this show. Toss a coin to your boy.
Toss a coin. You mentioned coin. What's there, Witcher Recap?
Thank you so much, Chucho Barber.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh valley of plenty.
I appreciate that. I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. I wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page, pun intended, okay? And look at that. Little Geralt has entered the chat. Well done. Love that, Mom. Love you. Chucha Barber, ladies and gentlemen.
Choo choo, choo choo, choo choo, choo choo.
Oh yeah. She loves it. I love it. This is this week's Witcher reading, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try to pick up where we left off. So, as I just shared with you, Geralt and Vilgefortz, these are very difficult names to say. They just had a wonderful history, and now we'll figure out what's happening. Again, it wasn't the cleanest ending, so I'm just gonna pick it up where the page suggests. Y'all good? Here we go. I don't know who's talking there. All right. I'm going to guess it's Geralt, and then we'll jump in. We'll start with Vilgefortz. According to Elvish tradition, Tor Lara is connected by a portal to the mysterious, still undiscovered Tor Ziriel, the Tower of Swallows. According to tradition, you haven't managed to find the portal? I don't believe you. You're right not to. We discovered the portal, but it was necessary to block it. There were protests. Everyone was itching to conduct experiments. Everyone wanted the fame of being the first to discover Tor Ziriel, the mythical seat of elven mages and sages. But the portal is irreversibly warped and transports people chaotically. There were casualties, so it was blocked up. Let's go, Geralt. It's getting cold. Carefully now. Only walk on the dark slabs. Why only the dark ones? These buildings are in ruins. Damp, erosion, strong winds, the salt air. They all have a disastrous effect on the walls. Repairs would cost too much, so we make use of an illusion instead of workmen. Prestige, you understand. It doesn't apply to everything. The sorcerer waved a hand, and the terrace vanished. They were standing over a precipice, over an abyss bristling far below with the teeth of rocks jutting from the foam. They were standing on a narrow belt of dark slabs, stretched like a tightrope between the rocky edge of Aretuza and the pillar holding up the terrace. Geralt had difficulty keeping his balance. Had he been a man and not a witcher, he would have fell. But even he was rattled. His sudden movement could not have escaped the attention of the sorcerer, and his reaction must also have been visible. The wind rocked him on the narrow footbridge, and the abyss called to him with a sinister roaring of the waves. "You're afraid of death," noted Vilgefortz with a smile. "You are afraid after all." So that was basically the end of the recap, as you heard me tell it, and so now we're moving forward. The ragdoll looked at them with button eyes. "He tricked you," murmured Yennefer, cuddling up to the Witcher. "There was no danger. He's sure to have protected you and himself with the Leviathan field. He wouldn't have taken the risk. What happened then?" "We went to another wing of Aretuza. He led me to a large chamber which was probably the office of one of the teachers or even the rectoress. We sat by a table with an hourglass on it. The sand was trickling through it. I could smell the fragrance of Lydia's perfume and knew she had been in the chamber before us." "And Vilgefortz?" "He asked me a question." "Why didn't you become a sorcerer, Geralt? Weren't you ever attracted by the art? Be honest." "I will. I was." "Why, then? Why didn't you follow the vice of that attraction?" "I decided it would be wiser to follow the voice of good sense." "Meaning?" "Years of practice in the Witcher's trade have taught me not to bite off more than I can chew. Do you know, Vilgefortz, I once knew a dwarf who as a child dreamed of being an elf. What do you think would have become of one had he followed the voice of attraction?" "Is that supposed to be a comparison, a parallel? If so, it's utterly ill-judged. A dwarf could not become an elf, not without having an elf for its mother." Geralt remained silent for a long time. "I get it," he finally said. "I should have guessed. You've been having a root around in my life history. To what purpose, if you don't mind?"
Perhaps, smiled the sorcerer faintly, I'm dreaming of painting in the Gallery of Glory. The two of us, seated at a table on a brass plaque, the title Vilgefortz of Roggeveen, entering into a pact with Geralt of Rivia. That would be an allegory, said the Witcher, with the title Knowledge Triumphing Over Ignorance. I'd prefer a more realistic painting entitled In which Vilgefortz explains to Geralt what this is all about. Vilgefortz brought the tips of his fingers together in front of his mouth. Isn't it obvious? No. Have you forgotten? The painting I'm dreaming about hangs in the Gallery of Glory, where future generations who know perfectly well what it's all about, what event is depicted in the picture, can only look at it. On the canvas, Vilgefortz and Geralt are negotiating and concluding an agreement, as a result of which Geralt, following the voice not of some kind of attraction or predilection, but a genuine vocation, finally joins the ranks of mages. This brings to an end his erstwhile and not particularly sensible existence, which has no future whatsoever. Just think, said the Witcher after a lengthy silence, that not so long ago I believed that nothing more could astonish me. Believe me, Vilgefortz, I'll remember this banquet and this pageant of incredible events for a long time. Worthy of a painting indeed. The title would be Geralt leaving the Isle of Thanedd, shaking with laughter. I don't understand, said the sorcerer, leaning forward a little. You lost me with the floweriness of your disclosure, so liberally sprinkled with sophisticated words. The causes of the misunderstanding are clear to me. We differ too much to understand each other. You are mighty, the sorcerer. Let me read that again. You are a mighty sorcerer from the chapter, who has achieved oneness with nature. I am a wanderer, a witcher, a mutant, who travels the world and slays monsters for money. That floweriness, interrupted the sorcerer, has been supplanted by banality. We differ too greatly, said Geralt, not allowing himself to be interrupted. And the minor fact that my mother was, by accident, a sorceress is unable to erase that difference. But just out of curiosity, who was your mother? I have no idea, said Vilgefortz calmly. The Witcher immediately fell silent. So Witcher's mom was a sorceress. How about that? Druids from the Kovir Circle, said the sorcerer a moment later, found me in a gutter in Lan Exeter. They took me in and raised me. To be a druid, of course. Do you know what a druid is? It's a kind of mutant, a wanderer, who travels the world and bows to sacred oaks. The Witcher said nothing. And later, continued Vilgefortz, my gifts revealed themselves during certain druidical rituals, gifts which clearly and undeniably pointed to my origins. I was begot by two people, evidently unplanned, and at least one of them was a sorcerer. Geralt said nothing. Chucha said, just like yours. Hey! Bruja, let's go. The person who discovered my modest abilities was, of course, a sorcerer, whom I met by accident, continued Vilgefortz calmly. He offered me a tremendous gift, the chance of an education and self-improvement, with a view to joining the Brotherhood of Sorcerers. And you, said the Witcher softly, accepted the offer. No, said Vilgefortz, his voice becoming increasingly cold and unpleasant. I rejected it in a rude, even boorish way. I unloaded all my anger on the old fool. I wanted him to feel guilty. He and his entire magical fraternity, guilty, naturally, for the gutter in Lan Exeter, guilty that one or two detestable conjurers, bastards, without hearts or human feelings, had thrown me into the gutter at birth, and not before, when I wouldn't have survived. The sorcerer, it goes without saying, didn't understand, wasn't concerned by what I told him. I shrugged and went on his way, he shrugged and went on his way, by doing so, branding himself and his fellows with the stigma of insensitive, arrogant whoresons, worthy of the greatest contempt. Geralt said nothing. Sounds like old Vilgefortz is a little better, you know what I mean? I'd had a gut full of druids, said Vilgefortz. So I gave up my sacred oak groves and set on to the world. I did a variety of things. I'm still ashamed of some of them. I finally became a mercenary. My life after that unfolded, as you might imagine, predictably. Victorious soldier, defeated soldier, marauder, robber, rapist, murderer, and finally a fugitive fleeing the noose. I fled to the ends of the world. And there, at the end of the world, I met a woman, a sorceress. Be careful, whispered the Witcher, and his eyes narrowed. Be careful, Vilgefortz, that the similarities you're desperately searching for don't lead you too far. The similarities are over, said the sorcerer without lowering his gaze. Since I couldn't cope with the feelings I felt for that woman, I couldn't understand her feelings, and she didn't try to help me with them. I left her because she was promiscuous, arrogant, spiteful, unfeeling, and cold, because it was impossible to dominate her, and her domination of me was humiliating. I left her because I knew she was only interested in me because my intelligence, personality, and fascinating mystery obscured the fact that I wasn't a sorcerer, and it was usually only sorcerers she would honor with more than one night. I left her because she was like my mother. I suddenly understood that what I felt for her was not love at all, but a feeling which was considerably more complicated, more powerful, but more difficult to classify. A mixture of fear, regret, fury, pangs of conscience, and the need for expiation? Dang. I'm gonna need a pronunciation on this one. Expiation. E-X-P-I-A-T-I-O-N. It's a new one. But a feeling which was considerably more complicated, more powerful, but more difficult to classify. A mixture of fear, regret, fury, pangs of conscience, and a need for expiation, a sense of guilt, loss, and hurt. A perverse need for suffering and atonement. What I felt for that woman was hate. Geralt remained silent. Vilgefortz was looking to one side. I left her, he said after a while. And then I couldn't live with the emptiness which engulfed me. And I suddenly understood it wasn't the absence of a woman that caused that emptiness, but the lack of everything I had been feeling. It was a paradox, isn't it? I imagine I don't need to finish. You can guess what happened next. I became a sorcerer, out of hatred. And only then did I understand how stupid I was. I mistook stars reflected in a pond at night for those in the sky. Chucha says, expiation means atonement. Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Expiation. It's not one you hear in everyday conversations. I became a sorcerer, out of hatred. Only then did I understand how stupid I was. I mistook stars, reflected in a pond at night, for those in the sky. As you rightfully observed, the parallels between us aren't completely parallel, murmured Geralt. In spite of appearances, we have little in common, Vilgefortz. What did you want to prove by telling me your story? That the road to wizardly excellence, although winding and difficult, is available to anyone? Even, excuse my parallel, to bastards or foundlings, wanderers or witchers? No, the sorcerer interrupted. I didn't mean to prove this road is open to all, because that's obvious and was proved long ago. Neither was there a need to prove that certain people simply have no other path. And so, smiled the Witcher, I have no choice. I have to enter into a pact with you, a pact which should someday become the subject of a painting and become a sorcerer? On account of genetics alone? Give me a break. I know a little bit about the theory of heredity. My father, as I discovered with no little difficulty, was a wanderer, a churl, a troublemaker, and a swashbuckler. My genes on the spear side may be dominant over the genes on the distaff side. The fact that I can swash a buckler pretty well seems to confirm that. Indeed, the sorcerer. This is another tough one. Derisively. D-E-R-I-S-I-V-E-L-Y. Derisively. Interesting. That's... Indeed, the sorcerer Fuck it. Indeed, the sorcerer smiled. Chucha says, spell that again. You got it. D-E-R-I-S-I-V-E-L-Y. Derisively. Derisive. I can't get it phonetically. I can say it, with the syllables, but I can't say it as a single word. Derisively. I don't know. It's too much for me right now. But that's all right. I'm gonna guess it's like a sly smile. You know what I mean? It's like devilish maybe, but it's fine. I wish the word wasn't there at all and there was no stumble, but what are you going to do? The fact that I can swash a buckler pretty well seems to confirm that. Indeed, the sorcerer smiled. The hourglass has almost run its course, and I, Vilgefortz of Roggenveen, master of magic, member of the chapter, am still discoursing, not unpleasantly, with a churl and swashbuckler, the son of a churl, a swashbuckler, and a wanderer. Chucha says, expressing contempt. Bang. Shout out to you, girl. We are talking of matters which, as everyone knows, are typical fireside debate subjects, beloved of churlish swashbucklers. Subjects like genetics, for example. How do you even know that word, my swashbuckling friend? From the temple school in Ellender, where they teach the pupils to read and write just 24 runes? Whatever induced you to read the books in which words like that and other similar ones can be found? Where did you perfect your rhetoric and eloquence? And why did you do it? To converse with vampires? Oh, my genetic wanderer, upon whom Tissia DeVries designed to smile. Oh, my witcher, my swashbuckler, who fascinates Philippa Elhart so much her hands tremble, at the recollection of whom Triss Marigold blushes crimson, not to mention the effect you have on Yennefer of Vegeborg. Perhaps it's as well you aren't going to mention her. Indeed, so little sand remains in the hourglass, I can almost count the grains. Don't paint any more pictures, Vilgefortz. Tell me what this is all about. Tell me using simple words. Imagine we're sitting by the fire, two wanderers roasting a piglet, which we just stole, trying and failing to get drunk on birch juice. Just a simple question. Answer it, one wanderer to another. What is the simple question? What kind of pact are you proposing? What agreement are we to conclude? Why do you want me in your pot, in this cauldron which, it seems to me, is starting to boil? What else is hanging in the air here, apart from the candelabras?
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, huh? Talk to me. Chills, what do you think? Do you want to keep reading, or shall we call it a day? Not a bad little passage. Not a bad little passage. Got some repartee, as they say. I think it's a nice stopping point for the next reading, but I'm happy to read a few more paragraphs and or pages, depending on how you feel. I will say this, having flipped the page or two, ladies and gentlemen, we are only seemingly 2.5 pages away from the end of the chapter. Chucha says, I kept waiting for him to say Yennefer was the sorcerer he was with. I'm glad he didn't. Chucha says, read on. You got it, baby.
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to get a drink of water, and we'll toss a coin, and we'll try to finish the chapter.
Finish him.
And a word from our sponsor. I wish we were sponsored. That would be cool. All right. You wanted it. You got it. One more again.
Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh.
The sorcerer pondered, or pretended to. The question is not simple, but I'll try to answer it. But not as a wanderer to a wanderer. I'll answer as one hired swashbuckler to another, similar swashbuckler. Suits me. Then listen, comrade swashbuckler. Quite a nasty scrap is brewing. A bloody fight for life or death, with no mercy shown. One side will triumph, and the other will be pecked apart by ravens. I put it to you, comrade, join the side with the better chance. Join us. Forget the others, spit on them with utter contempt, because they don't stand a chance. What's the point of perishing with them? No, comrade, don't scowl at me. I know what you want to say. You want to say you're neutral, that you don't give a shit about any of them, and that you'll simply sit out the slaughter, hunker down and care more'n, hidden in the mountains. That's a bad idea, comrade. Everything you love will be with us, and if you don't join us, you'll lose everything. And then you'll be consumed by emptiness, nothingness, and hatred. You'll be destroyed by the approaching time of contempt. That's the title, ladies and gentlemen. See how they do that? So sensible and join the right side when it comes time to choose. And it will come time, trust me. It's incredible, the Witcher smiled hideously, how much my neutrality outrages everyone. How it makes me subject to offers of pacts and agreements, offers of collaboration, lectures about the necessity to make choices and join the right side. Let's put an end to this conversation, Vilgefortz. You're wasting your time. I'm not an equal partner for you in this game. I can't see any chance of the two of us ending up in a painting in the Gallery of Glory, particularly not in a battle scene. The sorcerer said nothing. Set out on your chessboard, said Geralt. The kings, queens, elephants, and rooks, and don't worry about me, because I mean as much on your chessboard as the dust on it. It's not my game. You say I have to choose. I say you're wrong. I won't choose. I'll respond to events. I'll adapt what others choose. That's what I've always done. You're a fatalist. That's right. Although that's yet another word I ought not to know. I repeat, it's not my game.
Oh yeah.
Really? Said Vilgefortz, leaning across the table. In this game, Witcher, on the chessboard stands a black horse. It's a bit racial, isn't it? It's tied to you by bonds of destiny, for good or ill. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? And I'm sure you don't want to lose her, do you? Just know there's only one way not to lose her. The Witcher's eyes narrowed. What do you want from that child? There's only one way for you to find out. I'm warning you, I won't let anyone harm her. There's only one way you could prevent that. I offered you that option, Geralt of Rivia. Think it over. You have the entire night. Think as you look up at the sky, at the stars, and don't mistake them with their reflection in a pond. The sand has run out. I'm afraid for Ciri, Yen. There's no need, but trust me, she said, hugging him. Trust me, please. Don't worry about Vilgefortz. He's a wily old fox. He wanted to trick you, to provoke you, and he was partly successful. But it's not important. Ciri is in my care, and she'll be safe in Aretuza. She'll be able to develop her abilities here, and no one will interfere with that. No one. But forget about her becoming a witcher. She has other talents, and she's destined for other work. You can trust me. I trust you. That's significant progress. And don't worry about Vilgefortz. Tomorrow will explain many matters and solve many problems. Tomorrow, he thought. She's hiding something from me, and I'm afraid to ask what. Codringer was right. I've mixed up in a dreadful mess, and now there's no way out. I have to wait and see what tomorrow, which is supposed to explain everything, will bring. I have to trust her. I know something's going to happen. I'll wait and adapt to the situation. He looked at the writing desk. Yen, I'm here. When you were a pupil at Aretuza, when you slept in a chamber like this, did you have a doll you couldn't sleep without, which you put on the writing desk during the day? No, said Yennefer, moving suddenly. I didn't have a doll of any kind. Don't ask me about that, Geralt. Please, don't ask me. Aretuza, he whispered, looking around. Aretuza on the Isle of the Ned. It'll become her home for so many years. When she leaves here, she'll be a mature woman. Stop that. Don't think about it and don't talk about it. Instead, what, Yen? Love me. He embraced her and touched her and found her. Yennefer, in some astonishing way, hard and soft at the same time, sighed loudly. The words they had uttered broke off, perished among the sighs and quickened breaths, ceased to have any meaning, and were dissipated. So they remained silent and focused on the search for one another, on the search for the truth. They searched for a long time, lovingly and very thoroughly, fearful of needless haste, reckless and nonchalance. They searched vigorously, intensively, and passionately, fearful of needless self-doubt and indecision. They searched cautiously, fearful of needless tactlessness. They found one another, conquered their fear, and a moment later found the truth, which exploded under their eyelids with a tremble, blinding clarity, tore apart the lips pursed, in determination with a moan. Then time shuddered spasmodically and froze. Everything vanished, and touch became the only functioning sense. An eternity passed, reality returned, and time shuddered once more, and set off again, slowly, ponderously, like a great, fully laden cart. Geralt looked through the window. The moon was still hanging in the sky, although what had just happened ought in principle to have struck it down from that sky. "Oh heavens," said Yennefer much later, slowly wiping a tear from her cheek. They lay still among the disheveled sheets, among thrills, among steaming warmth and waning happiness, and among silence, and all around whirled vague darkness, permeated by the scent of the night and the voices of cicadas. Geralt knew that in moments like this, the enchantress's telepathic abilities were sharpened and very powerful. So he thought about beautiful matters and beautiful things, about things which would give her joy, about the exploding brightness of the sunrise, about fog suspended over a mountain lake at dawn, about crystal waterfalls with salmon leaping up in them, gleaming as though made of solid silver, about warm drops of rain hitting burdock leaves heavy with dew. He thought for her, and Yennefer smiled, listening to his thoughts. The smile quivered on her cheek along with the crescent shadows of her eyelashes. "A home?" asked Yennefer suddenly. "What home? Do you have a home? You want to build a home? I'm sorry, I shouldn't." He was quiet. He was angry with himself as he had been thinking, for her, he had accidentally allowed her to read a thought about herself. "A pretty dream," said Yennefer, stroking him lightly on the shoulder. "A home. A house built with your own hands, and you and I in that house. You would keep horses and sheep, and I would have a little garden, cook food, and card wool, which we would take to market. With the pennies earned from selling the wool and various crops, we would buy what we needed. Let's say some copper cauldrons and an iron rake. Every now and then Ciri would visit us, and her husband and 3 children, and Triss Marigold would occasionally look in, to stay for a few days. We'd grow old together, beautifully and with dignity. And should I ever get bored, you would play for me in the evening on your homemade bagpipes. Playing the bagpipes, as everyone knows, is the best remedy for depression." The Witcher said nothing. The enchantress cleared her throat softly. "I'm sorry," she said a moment later. He got up on an elbow, leaned across, and kissed her. She moved suddenly and hugged him, wordlessly. "Say something." "I wouldn't like to lose you, Yen." "But you have me." "The night will end." "Everything ends." "No," he thought. "I don't want it to be like that. I'm tired. Too tired to accept the perspective of endings which are beginnings and starting everything over again. I'd like..." "Don't talk," she said, quickly placing her fingers on his lips. "Don't tell me what you'd like and what you'd desire, because it might turn out I won't be able to fulfill your desires, and that causes me pain." "What do you desire, Yen? What do you dream about?" "Only about achievable things." "And about me?" "I already have you." He remained quiet for a long time, waiting until she broke the silence. "Geralt?" "Love me, please." At first, satiated by each other, they were both full of fantasy and invention, creative, imaginative, and craving for the new. As usual, it quickly turned out it was at once too much and too little. They understood it simultaneously, and once more made love to one another. When Geralt had recovered his senses, the moon was still in its place. The cicadas were playing wildly. As though they also wanted to conquer anxiety and fear with madness and abandon. From a nearby window in the left wing of Aretuza, someone craving sleep yelled out, fulminating sternly and demanding quiet. From a window on the other side, someone else, clearly with a more artistic soul, applauded enthusiastically and congratulated them. "Oh, Yen," whispered the Witcher reproachfully. "I had a reason." She kissed him and then buried her cheek in the pillow. "I had a reason to scream, so I screamed. It shouldn't be suppressed. It would be unhealthy and unnatural. Hold me, please." LOLO. LOLO. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a little bit of like an excerpt or something or other, as they typically do with the chapters. This has been a wonderful reading.
Oh, Valley of Plenty, oh, Valley of Plenty, oh.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to save this. I'll give it to you now. Let's do it. Come on. We're here.
We're testing the game. Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure what this is exactly. It's like a mini excerpt. Typically, we see them from books. Sometimes it's Dandelion's journal. This one comes from Ars Magica, edition LVIII, which is Roman numeral. I forget what L is. That's my bad. VIII is obviously 8, but I forget what the L stands for. It's not one you see often. Anyway. The Lara portal. So this relates to the conversation that was had with Vilgefortz. 50! Bam! Thank you so much, Juice. Thank you. So, edition 58. Can you dig it? The Lara portal, also known as Benevent's portal, after its discoverer. Located on the Isle of Thanedd, on the uppermost floor of the Tower of Gulls. A fixed portal, periodically active. Principles of functioning, unknown. Destination, unknown, but probably skewed, owing to damage. Numerous forks or dispersions possible. Important information. A chaotic and lengthy dangerous portal. All experimentation categorically forbidden. Magic may not be used in the Tower of Gulls or in close proximity to it, particularly not teleportation magic. In exceptional cases, the chapter will examine applications for permission to enter Tor Lara and for inspections of the portal. Applications should be supported by evidence of research work already in progress and of specialization in the subject area. Biography, Geoffrey Monk. The Magic of the Elder Folk. Emmanuel Benevent, The Portal of Tor Lara. Nina Fiervanti, The Theory of Practice of Teleportation. Ransant Alvaro, The Gates of Mystery. Prohibita, List of Banned Artifacts. Ars Magica, edition 58. One more time.
Witcher, oh, Valley of Plenty,
AeroRising.
oh, Valley of Plenty, oh.
AeroRising, shout out to you, my guy. Bang! Hang out with me, I'm gonna throw it back. We're done with the reading, so you're right on time, buddy. How about that? Let me go ahead and change the category. I feel like you're speaking Roman. And Carmen, you're still with us. Go on and get it.
Yeah.
AeroRising, Miss Carmen is today's movie preview game champion.
Well, she sneaks around the world from here to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize.
Wait for it.
Take you for a ride on a slow boat to China.
And we say,
where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego.
well done. All right, I gotta change the category to just chatting. And all right, hang out, wait for it. Oh, I gotta change the lights back. Not bad. And here we go. Bang. AeroRising says, I'm on the beach, boy. Wish I had the Beach Boys. Listen, man, we did it. We played your segment. It was dope. You were on the beach then, too.
I'm Anthony, he's Anthony, it's Anthony's part of the show.
So thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Thanks for checking in. Thanks for your contributions. Sadly, you weren't here for the movie preview game, but that's all right. You're only a 21-time champion. You know what I'm saying? You got spare time. Good shit. Happy July 4th, huh? From me to you. Matter of fact, I got this. I'm gonna do it again because I can. The best rendition, arguably, ever. That's pretty dope. AeroRising says, that was a live shot, man. I was out here live. you the legal champion. I got you. They stole that belt from you, man. They stole it. Shout out to Carmen, though. She deserves it. And then he says, hey, cocaine is a hell of a drug. I don't know the relevance there. Maybe you're feeling good on the beach. If that's the case, I'm happy for you, Brody. Bang. What a wonderful show. Thank you all so much for showing up, showing love. We did it. That was it. And you came in at the tail end, but you're there, baby. We appreciate you, bro. Carmen San Diego says, I only win when Anthony isn't here. Oh, well, hey, you got to get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? Chucha says, what a wonderful show. We're going to hit it one time.
Choo-choo, 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 choo-choo.
Now I understand. Ant's trying to say that old Whitney was doing that booger sugar, you know, that white girl, that powder. She had the sweats. Hey man, if that's what it takes, you give her some old, you know what I'm saying? She killed it. 1991 Super Bowl. Finkel and Einhorn. Tailspin. Chucha says, don't feel bad for Carmen. Oh, don't feel bad, Carmen. I could be the only person in the chat still without a win. Oh, Mom, come on, darling. Listen, sweetheart, it's an easy game to win. All you have to do is start watching previews. You know what I'm saying? You can even have a little cheat sheet, make yourself a list, and be like, yeah, I remember that one, You know? Hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles, baby. All right, I'm not gonna hold y'all for too long. I don't think there's too much to say about it other than we had a great show again.
Thank you. Far too kind.
I'm sorry again that I wasn't with you all the last couple of weeks, but I've got good reason for it. It's been beautiful in Norway. That's today. So I've been taking advantage of the sun. Honestly, haven't seen that motherfucker in a while, so I had to do what I had to do. I was out there playing tennis with the homies, right? This was us. We did that thing. Shout out to Fedme, Big G, and your boy. Again, at the top of the show, we had a very cool cold open. It was a segment from a gaming
we testing the games
episode that we did. Shout out to Shadow 1311 one time.
Federico.
And you can rewatch those episodes on YouTube. But we had a lot of fun with that, and we're gonna be back testing the game literally. Can you dig it?
We testing the game. Oh yeah.
AeroRising says, if I could sing like that on coke, your boy would look like Scarface in the booth. I imagine that would be hilarious. Never done it myself. I don't know how it works or how it feels. I'm scared I might like it. You know what I mean? So I love my caffeine, so I don't know how that works. But that's it. Happy 4th of July. That was yesterday. For those of y'all still celebrating, I think it's a wonderful thing. I don't know what the rest of you are getting into this weekend. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do for the rest. We had some great shows, and I want to give you this credit again. Matter of fact, it was your pick of the week, MobLand, and I mentioned it. I'll say it again. Thank you for recommending it, all right, buddy? I don't watch all of the recommendations, as you know, But this one was amazing. I encourage everyone to check it out. Top to bottom, Tom Hard, Pierce Bras, Helen Mir, Guy Ritchie. So effing good. And if you missed any of the show, check it out. In just a little while, we're going to republish it on YouTube, and you can watch it again on Twitch. And I appreciate you. Thank you for the subscriptions, for the likes, for all the love.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Ed says he's 1 for 50. Pretty good. It's not true. He's actually 500. Shit. Oh, man, I'll watch them. They're dope. This one was amazing. Thank you again. Carmen says, my winner circle intro music is Baba Yaga by R&B. Oh! I tell you what, I need to make a note of that, but I can do that for you. That's so sweet of you. Oh. We'll make it your intro music next week. How about that? Ant says, Guy Ritchie, I'm Guy Brokey, motherfucker. Let's go, baby. Let's go. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. We missed your commentary this episode, man. We missed the jokes in the chat, but a lot of love. And again, thank you for your contributions, man.
Thank you.
There's a lot of AeroRising in the show, baby. Pause. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have Miss Brigitte Ross. Welcome to the show, darling. Way to make yourself known, babe. So happy you could tune in. Thank you so much. Although I don't know how much you've seen, how much you caught, this is it. We're actually about to throw it to the outro. But thanks for saying hi. I appreciate that, babe. All right, what I wanted to say was the tradition on the show is we have a segment from one of our favorite shows, The Office, or a little snippet rather. And so this is that, and it's really catered towards Shadow 1311 because he is sadly working. So this is for you, my guy, if you can hear it.
This was a successful unveiling.
Get back to work, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know when we're next going to be together. It might be as early as next week. Stay tuned for that. I'll be sure to let you know offline and on. Thank you again for tuning in, for all the support.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend. We up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Testing the game. Until next time.
Oh, yeah.
Peace.
Myself, weed making my mind melt. Twitch streamer, bitch, yeah, I know just how Kai felt. My chick super bad, pussy wetter than Mike Phelps. So at a rush like she pledging for tri-delts. Girl, I'm 101, I, me, and just myself. Beyonce always, no Destiny's Child. I'm just me, and I can't be nothing, just me. And you can't do nothing, just me. Be yourself, man, no one else, man. If I can't do it, no one else can. Put it on your girl body like it's self-tan.